All right, hi guys, we are back, and today we are making taco salad for our demonstration. A couple of things that we are using that we haven't used is we're going to use our cheese grater, but we're going to be using it for a vegetable, so it's a little bit different. Our vegetable peeler, and of course our paring knife and chef's knives we'll be using today. As far as the taco salad, the recipe link is below, so make sure you click on the link, and that way you can make this at home and hopefully have a wonderful meal. So the directions goes as follows. The ingredients list is a quarter pound of lean ground beef, 1 to 2 carrots chopped or shredded, a half package of taco seasoning mix, 1/4 cup of water, a half a head of lettuce, a half a cup of tomatoes, 1/2 cup of shredded cheese, a half a bag of tortilla chips, and then 1/4 cup of Catalina dressing. So for the most part, the only thing that we actually are going to be measuring out will be our water, and I'll show you that later on. However, everything else is just would be a grab and go. You grab the vegetable and then you go. So if this was a lab that we're actually doing in class, of course you have your hair tied up, your apron's on, and you washed your hands, okay? And also you'd have to wear your face masks during lab because of the COVID that's going around. That being said, the first thing, if you are a supply manager, so your head chef in your group is going to grab the red trays, and then you're going to go to your kitchen and try to grab the things that you're going to need as far as measuring tools. So this particular recipe does not really need much to measure. However, we will be measuring out water, but water is in your kitchen, so this would be something that you're going to be using, but it doesn't not have to go onto your tray because I'm not going to have water up here on the supply table. You're going to use the water that's in your kitchen. So some of the recipe you just kind of have to think it through and problem solve and go from there. Okay, so today we're not going to be really using this for demonstration purposes. I'm going to actually use it for like holding our vegetables that we're not using as we go, and then we'll begin. So as far as the directions, it starts off with browning our meat. So this is our lean package of meat. The recipe says about 1/4 pound, so this is 1 pound of meat. So in the recipe that you do for class, you would only take like a portion of it and prepare it for you and your group. This particular lab, we're going to go ahead and just cook up the whole pound so that way you can kind of see it in live action of what it really means. So anytime that you are dealing with meat, a lot of misconception is that you go ahead and add oil to your pan. There's enough fat in animal products that you really don't need to add oil. Chicken is kind of a little bit more, as far as it doesn't have like a lot of fat onto it. So in that case, you could always add a little bit of olive oil just to help the pan out, but for the most part, you wouldn't necessarily have to. So our red meat is going to go ahead into our pan, and our pretend stove here is on and running. I don't know if you can hear the sizzle, but it has started. So since I touched some of the packaging and I did touch some of the meat, I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands really quick, and then we'll come back and see how our meat is doing. Okay, so we have our meat, and what we're going to do, we're just going to kind of chop it up into our pan a little bit so it cooks a little bit more even. Some of you that use hamburger meat before, or if you've cooked a hamburger, some of you like it medium rare or rare, a little bit of pink in the middle. In this particular case, we're going to make sure that all the meat is cooked completely. We don't want to cross-contaminate any of our vegetables because it's going into a salad. So in that case, I would recommend that you make sure that everything is cooked properly. And again, we don't want to cross-contaminate, meaning that we're touching the raw meat and then touching our vegetables at the same time. So we're going to go ahead and cut this up. We're actually not going to season it quite yet. We're going to wait till it's a little bit more cooked, and then we're going to add some seasonings and try to flavorize this meat before we actually use it. So we're just going to let that cook while it's going. Now, while you're in your kitchen groups, because there would be more than one of you would go ahead and just kind of man the meat there, I guess you could say. You'd watch over it, making sure that it's being cooked properly. If it gets too hot, it's going to start like splattering and spitting at you, so you just lower your temperature a little bit and make sure it's cooked or cooking properly. So this is actually cooking pretty quick, so I'm just going to keep stirring it around, keep chopping it up to make sure that we don't have large chunks, because again, this is going into a salad. I wouldn't want it too much. so our meat has been cooking pretty well and is just about done. I'm going to go ahead and rinse our spatula off so that way, again, I'm not cross-contaminating. I want to make sure I'm rinsing it well. Just give it just a good quick wash so that way, again, any raw meat that's stuck to it is no longer, because when I do my final stirs, I just don't want to keep contaminating everything. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add some seasoning now. So as far as the recipe goes, it's just asking us for 1 package of taco seasoning, which is about a tablespoon of taco seasoning. So we're just going to add that into it. And it might be even actually a little bit more than a tablespoon. So we're going to add it right into our pan. Let me grab our measuring spoon. So we're going to measure out our 1 tablespoon. We're going to level it off to make sure that we have exactly an amount, and just kind of sprinkle it right onto the meat. Since we're doing more than a 1/4 pound here, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons just so we have that flavor. Okay, and then as I said before, the brown shelf that's in the kitchen you are free to use to add other additional flavors that you'd like. So I'm just going to go ahead and just sprinkle a little pepper into our dish and some just plain old salt. And then I'm going to do a quick stir to make sure all of this is mixed well. Lower my heat a little bit. Okay, so because the taco seasoning is a little bit thick, and it's not kind of mixing the way it should, it's asking us to go ahead and add 1/4 cup of water to our dish. So this is where your water from your sink is going to come into play. You're going to use your liquid measuring cups, and it's just as simple as looking at the bottom and looking for that 1/4 measure. You're going to grab your amount, and you're going to keep it on a flat surface to make sure that you have enough, because you don't want too much or you don't want too little. So we're going to go ahead and just drizzle it in there and just let that cook with all the seasonings and our juices. If our ground meat was a little bit heavy on the fat side, meaning that there was a lot of grease at the bottom, we would have probably drained the meat first before we used it, but since it was actually pretty lean, 80% lean, 20% fat, so that's pretty lean for meat. So we're just going to kind of cook it into our product and just keep it like that. So we're just going to kind of finish up on our meat stack. Move that to the side. And we're going to move on to the products over here to make our actual salad and put it together. So to start us off, it's asking us to go ahead and start with our lettuce. So that's what exactly what we're going to do. We're going to slide our little vegetables. I washed all our vegetables for us already, so they are washed and ready to go. As far as a lettuce head, just a head of lettuce, we're going to actually get the knot out, and I'll show you a neat way how to do it. Basically what you're going to do is you're just going to hit it onto your cutting board, and it's just going to pop into your head of lettuce. So we're just going to hit it like that. And then you should be able to just kind of grab it, and the middle part is just going to pop out like that. So that way you don't have to worry about the core of the actual lettuce. I'm going to peel off some of the wilted parts of our lettuce, because of course you're always going to have some wilt going on, because when they pick your head of lettuce, and that can go into compost later on. So the recipe itself actually asks for just a half of a head of lettuce. So we are just going to literally cut it in half. Now there are lettuce knives out there that you can use. It's kind of like a plastic material that you would use, and you would cut the lettuce, and then the lettuce itself will actually last longer. But since we're kind of gonna eat it right away, there's really no reason that we would need a different knife. So we're just gonna take our half a head of lettuce for our lab here. Again, get rid of some of the wilt. And we're just gonna chop it up into small pieces. There's really nothing fancy about cutting up lettuce. I would just assume, because it's a salad, that I don't want huge big lettuce pieces. I think it's kind of annoying when you order a salad and it doesn't really fit on your fork. You have to like literally cut your salad, and I really don't think that's what you're supposed to do, personally. However, I've had some salads before where the chefs kind of take their time into ripping it because they think, again, it's going to last longer, which is fine, but we're going to be eating this right away, so there's really no need for that. So we have our roughly chopped lettuce head here, and we're going to put it into our bowl. Hopefully you can see that really well. And then we're going to slide over our parts that we didn't use yet. We're going to clean off our blade and move on to the next item. The recipe also calls for some tomato. So as far as the tomato goes, they always say to cut and score. So basically you're going to cut out this core first. So by pointing downwards, you're just going to kind of angle it so this top part comes off. And then you score the bottom just because when you start, and scoring just means just kind of like a little quick stab or cut. So that way when you start cutting into the tomato, it just doesn't whoosh, squirt at you all this tomato juice and tomato seeds, because depending on how ripe it is, okay, ripe means how soft it really is, it could, once you start cutting into it, just like start exploding at you. So this particular one, we're just going to use our paring knife all together. And similar to our onion that we did last week, maybe I'll use the chef's knife to show you, but we're going to cut it long ways this way. Again, I'm cutting towards the bottom of the cutting board, so it's not quite as dangerous. We're going to cut straight down. It's getting a little slimy. And then we're going to go ahead and cut. So again, we have our cubed pieces of tomato, and it's just easy enough to go ahead and drop it into our bowl. Again, you're just going to keep going with the pieces and parts. This was actually a pretty large tomato, so the core was a little bit bigger than anticipated, so I'm going to cut that out. And then I'm going to finish up our tomato. So we have half of our tomato cut and ready to go for our salad. Last but not least, we're going to add carrots. Now sometimes people are just scared of carrots because it's just more vegetables, and I don't know why, but we're scared of vegetables. But the more vegetables that you have, obviously the better for you it's going to be. This is a carrot. It's into the ground. If you didn't know how carrots were developed, but they come out of the ground. So you know when a carrot's ready to be pulled when the shoulders of the carrot actually pop out of the ground, and then you're just going to pull it out of the ground, and there you go, you have your carrot. So because what we're going to do to start, we washed it, of course. We're going to actually peel the carrot. So again, we're going to peel it towards us, or I'm sorry, away from us, not towards us. Get all the bumps and lumps off. It's actually fine for you to actually eat it the way it was, but everyone likes to have a smooth piece of carrot. So we're going to cut that and cut our top part off. And then again, this could be compost. So again, our science department would love that portion. The directions call us to shred the carrot. So we're going to use the teardrop side of our graters that you have each of these in your kitchens. So again, you're just going to take your carrot just like we did with cheese, and you're just going to rub it up and down until all the carrot has been cut. Carrot's a little bit harder than cheese, obviously, because it's a pretty stiff vegetable there. So as you get closer and closer to your hands, please be careful and just keep an eye on it. Okay, so we kind of have like the bare minimum there before you cut your knuckles off, so we're not going to go that far. And we're just going to take the carrots and just sprinkle it over our salad bowl and just kind of toss the salad so we have it all mixed in there really well and it's ready to go. Okay, so let me clean this up a little bit and then I'll show you how to put our salad together and we'll finish that up. So give us just a second. Okay, so final touches of our salad, we're just gonna get a salad bowl out of our kitchen here. And we're gonna kind of put the last finishing touches of it. This particular. Okay. So these are the last few ingredients that are on your recipe sheet. So we're just gonna go ahead and grab some of our salad and put it into our bowl here. Okay. We're going to go ahead and grab some of our shredded cheese. In Real Lab, you'll have to shred your own cheese for your own kitchen group. So you just shred some and put it into your bowls. How you'd make this individually. Same thing with our chips. We're going to kind of force them out. Should be plenty actually. And our spoon that we had will work. You're just going to take it and you're just going to crush it. If this was being made for yourself, I wouldn't see a problem that you can crush the chips yourselves, or you can put it in a bag and crush it that way. But you're just going to crush it. A lot of times people would take like a rolling pin and crush their items, like crushed cookies or crushed crackers if they're making your graham cracker crust with a rolling pin, which is fine. But a lot of times people like get a misconception and just start hammering away. And I will forewarn you, if you cannot crush a chip with a little tool or a gadget easily, then you need to go to the gym and start working out and use those muscles that you haven't used in a while, I guess. But anything in the kitchen wise, nothing should be used like a hammer unless you're tenderizing meat, which we will never do in here, but maybe you'll do that at home. But as far as in here, all our tools for rolling pins, spoons, spatulas, they should never be used as a hammer, because again, if you cannot crush it with your own muscles, then again, you need to go to the gym, and I can sign you up with Coach Powell. I'm sure he would love a partner working out and making sure you are ready to go for the next lab that we do. So we're just going to sprinkle these on, kind of like croutons that you see at home or at a restaurant or wherever you go. And then last but not least, we're going to go ahead and sprinkle the meat on top. Now our meat is looking awesome. It is still warm. We're just going to sprinkle a little bit on top. It just kind of depends how much you'd like. I mean, people have cut up chicken or ham in most salads, but this again is their taco salad. And then last but not least, we're going to add our salad dressing. So it says 1/4 cup for the whole dish. So again, if I was to make it all at once, I would use 1/4 cup. But in this case, because it's just for one or two or one person, I'm just going to use a little bit. And then it depends on how much you like it. If you'd like more or less salad dressing on your dish. But this is an awesome taco salad. If you want to do this at home, you can. That's awesome. I encourage you. Other things that you can add, corn, beans, canned beans, anything like that. Anything that to make it like a Tex-Mex mix, whatever. It's awesome. It's a great flavor. It's great for lunches. So you can make like a large batch and then put it in containers. If you're going to do that, I would suggest leave the salad dressing for last and don't add the salad dressing until you're ready to eat. So if you're doing like pre-prepped meals for lunches, like I said, this can last like 2 or 3 days at least, I would think. And then you would have lunches for the week and you just add your salad dressings and voila, you're kind of eating healthy there. All right, guys, well, it's great to see you, and hopefully you try this at home. Okay, guys, so let's see what our other teachers think of our dish.
Keep going out. Thanks.
Very good. I like this.
Okay, hey guys, let's go ahead and see what our teachers think of our dish.
This is amazing. The flavors are just, it just tingle your senses. I can't believe that this was made in a class. And hopefully yours tastes as good as this. Thank you.
Oh, Miss Bold, would you like to try our dish that we made in class?
I would love to. I always love to see what you guys are making. Oh my goodness, this looks wonderful. Oh my goodness, and it tastes wonderful. Mmm.
Oh, Miss Mr. Sailors, would you like to try what we made in class today?
I would love to. Smells delicious, like a taco salad.
Oh, you're exactly right.
Yummy. Delish.
I hear you. Oh, Miss Potts, would you like to try some taco salad?
I would love to.
Awesome.
Thank you. Can I eat it through my mouth?
Oh, please,
Do I have to eat it like on camera?
yeah, we're recording right now.
Sorry. Sorry, I didn't know what I was like. The protocol was like, Casey, we're about to eat it right here. Is that okay?
Should we try this again?
Oh, Miss Potts, would you like to try some taco
I
salad?
would love to. Thank you.
Tell the kids what you think after you try it. And maybe they should try it at home.
That's excellent.
Ah, Miss Sellers, would you like to try some taco salad?
I would love to.
Thank you. Tell us what you think.
This is delicious. I hope you guys at home will try this.
Oh, Miss DeAngelis, would you like to try our last taco salad for the day?
I feel so special. I would love to. Step back. Has a nice aroma.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Very good, very good. Nice seasoning. Not too much, not too little. The lettuce is still crunchy and very tasty. Well, okay, hold on.
Well, our lettuce and carrots that we used and tomato were all organic vegetables.
I could tell because that really made a difference. Very good. Deliciousness. Thank you for sharing.